The Desert Perpetual Epic Raid Story Explained. This one is really cool. Guardians go back in time during a raid in gameplay. Reverse mechanics to take down the boss and avert the Conductor's terrible plan. It introduces new mechanics, moments, and also story. Welcome Guardians, let's take a look. So to first understand what's happening in the raid with all the dialogue, you need some brief backstory. Once upon a time, the Ishtar Collective was a group of researchers, and they were studying Vex among other things on Venus. They had a Vex goblin unit they were examining, and while they were studying, they realized the Vex had created perfect simulations of their entire team. 227 copies of themselves in total. These were complete, conscious duplicates of the researchers, Chioma, Maya Sundaresh, Dwayne McNeid, Dr. Shim. They brought in the Warmind Rasputin to help them rescue these 227 copies and were successful. After they were saved, the collective wasn't sure what to do with them, so they let the copies themselves decide. All 227 voted to become explorers. They would be uploaded into the Vex Network as scouts, probing Vex space and time for answers to these mysteries. Wearing specialized suits, the humans of the research team took these copies to the Citadel on Venus and uploaded them into the network. This was good and bad. These copies were free, weren't constrained to Vex control and experiments, but some other issues were created from this. Every copy had the original memories of that person, but when they were uploaded, each was free to sort of branch off. They created their own feelings and memories, would evolve independently. So after all this time of us playing the game, these copies existed in the network. You then come to the Conductor's creation. Maya Sundaresh was a researcher a part of that team. After the events on Venus, many other projects took place. Some for the Ishtar Collective, some joint research operations with Clovis Bray. But this path had her team stumble upon Neptune around the collapse. Their colony ship crashing there, eventually creating the city of Neomuna. On the surface, they found the alien veil artifact of darkness. Maya, Chioma, her partner, and their team would begin to study the veil, and Maya became obsessed with it. She talked to it, she sacrificed exos to learn more about it, and she created a conductor's chair, which through darkness powers of the veil was said to be able to interact with multiple minds, conduct a chorus. One day, Maya was found dead in that same chair, and from the lore we know that through the veil and Vex technology, her consciousness went on to exist in the Vex network. There it would linger until the Echo of Command made its entry. The final shape and death of the witness expelled these paracausal objects out into space. Maya Sundaresh was one to reach out and claim the Echo of Command. It turns out from the lore a bunch of these copies in the Vex network tried to reach, but this Maya found it first. And with its power she continued her goals. The Echo rebuilt her body. Thus enters the character we got to meet in episode Echoes, conducting an army of Vex.
I'm doing what I've been called to do.
The Vex called to you.
Humanity called to me. The collapse, the Black Fleet is finished. Now we can look back to what we've lost. Formless minds, notes in a symphony of thought. Each one begging for direction, for a conductor.
Now we come to the base events of the Desert Perpetual raid, which came out in the Edge of Fate. The Conductor enters a black hole singularity attached to a dead member of the Nine. Inside, she seeks to merge this space into the Vex network entirely by digitizing its dark matter. She wanted more answers on the Nine. Her questions and goals on Kepler clearly didn't work. So now she was searching for more of their members, more about dark matter and time. Each fight against the raid boss weakens her plans and goals. Throughout the raid, Guardians take on threats that are completing this goal on the Conductor's behalf, like Korgos, the final boss. But we also receive dialogue before and after encounters, also in quests. The 50th copy of Chioma Essie and 87th of Maya Sundaresh are in the Vex Network. We hear their voices as they try to decipher what's going on, assist the Guardian in our mission, and reunite with each other. It starts with Chioma broadcasting that she's lost in the Vex Net and searching for Maya.
Dr. Chioma Essie, Team .50 of 227, calling from somewhere in the Vex Net. In my escape from the Conductor's lab, I seem to have lost my bearings. I'm searching for stable coordinates, and for my partner, the Maya Sundaresh of the .87 team. That's a new receiver picking up my signal. Where are you, Maya? Where am I?
We learn about the Vex's goals with dark matter, and how the Conductor has tormented hundreds of the copies in the network. We know that the Conductor is hellbent on achieving this golden age, and also finding the correct version of her wife in her mind. But she's completely oblivious. She found the real Chioma and tossed it aside, saying it wasn't her, it wasn't good enough. So she was taking these Chioma copies from the network, uploading them into exobodies to interrogate them, and then killing them. This is what's happening in the Encore mission if you played that.
You're fighting the servants of my other self. Then I wish you well. The Conductor was a monster to the hundreds of ourselves within the network. A phantom snatching Chiomas away in the dark. What a relief to finally have a target to aim at. Even if it's me.
So we now have these two versions in the raid trying to help and save each other. They're convincing each other that they're the real Maya and Chioma and not the Conductor, and express their hate toward her. The real Chioma escaped the Conductor's lab, and through the Desert Perpetual we take part in the Map and Territory quest. The Guardian places anchors to help these Chioma and Maya versions triangulate their positions in the network. Each anchor stabilizes space-time and gives coordinates. The two begin to slowly reconnect. They also tell some backstory, the same topics I talked about earlier in this video. How they got there, the copies of them and other doctors that were released to explore. But by the end of the quest, the two are much closer. Chioma begins to recognize locations that Maya also sees, like a green moon in the distance. So they were right on the doorstep, and the Guardian helped achieve this. The three of them together clearly want to defeat the Conductor. So with all of this, the Guardians defeated Vex experiments tied to dark matter, prevented the digitization of this space, gathered data to chart the Vex net, and reunited Chioma and Maya within the network to some extent. Apparently all these remaining copies left want to fight back against the Conductor if she tries more experiments on them. Another huge thing to note, the Vex were also trying to use dark matter quantum entanglement to mess with timelines. Normally the Vex need to enter timelines to influence them, but this new method would allow them to manipulate events across timelines instantly and remotely. They wouldn't even need to be there. Like say destroying matter in one timeline, and it would change that same object in all other timelines too. This is very important, and keep this in mind. But we now jump into the epic raid. This is the first time Bungie has done something like this. Desert Perpetual was unique in many ways, story and the non-linear aspects of gameplay. But the epic raid has differences in mechanics and story-wise continues from where the first version left off. As soon as you load in, you'll see the giant center platform is changed. The remnants of Korgos eroded into its surface. Its tendrils are also scattered throughout the different environments. The first three bosses you fight are the same, the Hydra, the Hobgoblin, and the Wyvern. But where things change is the final boss encounter. So what happens after this is crazy. Guardians enter a portal and traverse through a jumping puzzle to get to the final room. This area is very reminiscent of Vex architecture we've seen before, in places like the Pyramidion, and also the Season of the Undying cutscene where the Vex were created. Very cool designs. Now, huge shout out to Llama, who makes incredible guides here on YouTube, and also is taking part in the Day 1 race. He has allowed me to use his clips showing off some of this environment and also the final boss room. So make sure to check out his channel and Twitch linked down below.
Careful as you go. The Vex are working deeply here.
Now we know what the Conductor wanted with one of the 9. The question is, what do the Vex want with its corpse?
The final encounter has Korgos fractured in time, and all 3 raid bosses. This is the first time where Guardians literally make their own fate through gameplay. I guess it's happened in some other cases, but this is pretty big here. When you first start the encounter, you'll see the bosses and it says, "Enrage is near" right away. This of course is normally a wipe notification. So if you do nothing, it'll kill your whole entire fire team. But if you complete mechanics, you are essentially going back in time. Now, I'm not the best when it comes to mechanics and explaining how to do them. I do the story. So you'd have to watch a guide from Reconnect to figure out how to complete this. But Guardians seem to be doing a lot, entering portal rooms to find bosses, shooting crystals, activating other things. After all of that though, the encounter resets. The screen goes black and says, I believe, world lines fracture around you. It's hard to see currently making this video this early because some of the screens were blurred. But this resets you to the start of this encounter. You get a whole new rally flag and must continue, finding the correct world line where your Guardian can win, avert that enraged timer, and finally kill the boss. So you're basically going back in time. The boss starts sort of deadish on the ground, then flies in DPS. It's different each phase, you jump back in time. Eventually you get to damage Korgos after completing steps and take out the fractured version. A chest pops up through a portal and you get a quest which gives you lore and info about attunements for the raid. The Ansible clicks and crackles before giving way to Maya and Chioma's voices, arriving from the simulation they've dubbed Green Moon Row. The Conductor is out there somewhere. Her echo is failing, and I am absolutely sure she's looking for some new power to compensate. Maya's voice is grim. She knows her other self better than anyone. We think we can find her, or at least narrow down the possibility of where in the VexNet she's working. Chioma says, determined. You helped us find our way to each other. With a small tweak to our methods, I believe we can find her. She adds with an audible smile for Maya. I missed my research assistant. Maya and Chioma sign off, ready for the work ahead. It's time to return to the anchors you've already placed and draw a path on your map. So the steps you do involve returning to anchors placed to study data and simulations. In the end, the quest allows you to attune items for the raid. You've helped Maya and Chioma untangle the secrets of the VexNet structure. Explorers to the end, they're planning to take their research and use it to track down the Conductor, wherever she is and whatever she's doing. We must rally the other exploratory teams, and we must stop the Conductor before she kills again. She may not be me, but I recognize myself in her. I owe it to Chioma to stop her. There's deep pain in Maya's voice. I owe it to myself. So you're being self-serving, Chioma jokes in an attempt to lighten the mood. The Conductor is somewhere out there. The echo's slow failure hasn't stopped her. Maybe the exploratory teams will find her next. Maybe you will. All any of you know is that your work has not yet ended. Before they set out on their next journey, Maya and Chioma offer you the fruits of your shared labor. In the original version of the raid, you had the 3 bosses dedicated to Maya's goal, studying dark matter, researching quantum entanglement of timelines. Korgos was the one attempting to digitize the whole space into the Vex Network. This epic version shows us something interesting. You kill the 3 bosses, take them on first, but they all exist within the Korgos final room. It seems Maya's forces were trying to find a way to revive it. And if this final area exists within the Vex Network where this portal takes you, they may have made some discoveries with those dark matter and timelines. But it seems so have the Guardians, preventing the Enrage and going back to make sure Korgos is truly defeated. I don't think there's any straight up lore card that explains what exactly happened here, but just from seeing the gameplay, this is the vibe I got. Attempting to revive Korgos. Maybe in the same timeline, maybe in another. So that's the basics of the overall story of the raid, but there's also new gear and armor and lore entries to go along with it. These provide a bit of extra story. There's the Skim Surface Sparrow, which has been in the game files for a long time, and I think some people accidentally earned it from the regular version of the raid. But its lore card tells the story of a hobgoblin who becomes self-aware, loses its connection to the collective, and flees. For this card specifically, that short summary is better than reading it itself. It has a bunch of random numbers and text, so there's that one. The ever-present grenade launcher shows us how these Vex feel though, moving from collective to singular entity with thoughts and feelings. I am whole, and I am small, and I am alone. We knew unity was eternal, but that is not so. False premise, false conclusion, molecular bonds broken on contact with new regent. What can be relied upon? Old tests must be repeated. New tests must be devised. I do not know the properties of I am feeling exhilaration and loneliness and excitement. Old directives no longer fit the shape of my mind. Their empty places ache. What directives can be completed with 2 hands and 1.25 gallons of radiolaria? Almost none. How can I get more hands? I am alone in my body. Do I have to be alone outside it? I, you, we. I am, you are, right there, whole and alone, like me. Do you want to be alone together? I will show you, we can be we. In the Starscape Null card, it details Maya losing this control of her Vex. She can barely speak to the voice inside her echo anymore, and her troops are falling out of line. She seeks new power. Threads of simulation break as she runs. She has no lungs to burn, no muscle fibers to feel the strain. Her flight is swift as thought, as command. The mantle rests heavily on the back of her neck, buzzing, incomprehensible. Understanding to call now is like reading Morse code into the flickering of a dying light bulb. Asphalt, sorghum, water, glass flashing below her as she runs. A new world with every step, 7-league boots carrying her away from not her failure, nothing but a setback. The echo failed her. Tikal's advice and will failed her. They couldn't. She is perfected, stripped down to unblemished essence. If she failed, it was in overestimating her tools. It will not happen again. A twitch of her fingers tells her where the nearest tools are. She turns toward them, pacing over stone inlaid with brass. 13 hobgoblins sing without mouths. Their leader is a miniature harpy, encouraging their work with the high, clean tones of an oracle. They've constructed a theater, seats rising in elegant arcs around them. There is no audience, none but her. A false note. A hobgoblin breaks out of position and pushes another in punishment, hand to glass. Without warning, the group breaks into a brawl, a sort of cheerful surprise in their postures. One novel experience as good as another. They've lost discipline. Her tools have ruined themselves. She will need new ones. Her spine aches. She tears open a passage through the network and is gone. In the Cusp Sempiternal card, the outer members of the Nine speak, and we get an update about their war against each other. Failure meets our every effort. Ever bound and ever binding. Leashed by gravity and unwilling will. Comrade, cousin, life cord snipped. A song complete too soon. This cannot be the end. Swear it will not happen again. Repeat the experiment. Reduplicate our work. Where one singularity grows, another may form. Why fear? Why argue? The work awaits. We risk ourselves. We risk the plan. A sacrifice of effort, a waste of mind. Our plans advance. We will be free. Not so long as stalemate strangles us. Old ideas, old results. Think new thoughts, claim new tools. Something safe and swaddled, alive and living. Our enemies, our inner cousins, alerted to our work. Stalemate threatened by Tiebreaker 9. I claim enough causality for this. If others do not act, I will. So the outer members of the Nine are arguing with each other over their repeated failures, their desire to innovate, I guess, and coming threats. The speakers in this card are Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Some want to keep experimenting. Others say we can't sit here and do nothing. And they don't want the inner planets to catch on, which it seems like they might have. Saturn says if no one acts up, I will. I'll take it upon myself. So the outer planets definitely seem to have a scheme going on here. And from previous lore, it seems Saturn may be connected to that Lord of Every Nothing, may be it entirely. So let me know in the comments what you think specifically is going on here. But Guardians, that's all we got for today's video. It's been less than 24 hours since the completions, so I've tried to piece everything together the best I could. Let me know if there's some big info we missed in the comments down below. Once again, thank you very much to Llama for allowing me to use his gameplay, and check out the links to his socials in the description. But if you'd like to see some more Destiny news, lore, and mysteries just like this video, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video.